guessing crypto?
Guessing crypto
quiz?
logos.
Oh yeah, we're gonna.
So that's a pretty obvious one.
So I think hopefully we know this. Is Bitcoin?
Yeah,
Ooh,
it's Bitcoin.
let's see.
The only one that's pretty close to that is Bitcoin Cash.
Yes.
Something like that.
We could get thrown off by something tricky like that.
All right, we got
Boom.
40 points. Okay,
Is that?
I've seen this one.
So it's not Tezos. It's
Could be.
It has to have a T, right?
I would think so. Is that Tether? I think it's just
Is that
real
just Tether?
I think it could be. It could just be regular old Tether. Yeah. That's how little I...
That is too funny. I don't recognize the logos independently.
No, it's kind of a trick.
I know all like the symbol
Yeah.
names, but
Okay. This one makes no sense. I'm not going to get that one.
okay. There's only 3 letters.
That should make it easier. The
Um.
ape coin. Oh, is it XRP? Let's try XRP.
There's the P over there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to Imagining the Metaverse, a video podcast where we explore the future of Web 3 and the Metaverse and AI, all of that fun stuff. We're your hosts. I'm Nicki Sanders, and I'm here with Scott Paul.
Hello, hello.
And today we have a fun episode where we're going to talk about, we're going back to the basics, Scott. We're
very
going to
basic.
talk about coins and tokens in the crypto world.
Where were you when you first heard about Bitcoin? Do
I
you
was
remember
in-
where you were?
Yeah, I was in college getting my computer science degree at the U.
Yeah.
And one of the students there was talking about it and like had set up a way to mine on the university computers.
Nice.
So he was just like mining Bitcoin for free.
Yeah.
And like we all kind of laughed and we're like, okay, cool. And didn't do anything about it. And now when I think back, I'm like, I'm an idiot. Like if I could go back, that's like the one thing I would change in my life.
You could have paid for school and a lot
Join
more had you
in.
done that free mining.
Yeah,
back
so that
then.
had to be like 2011.
Wow, that's
maybe
early.
2010. Yeah.
Okay. Uniswap, there's a swaps where you can go and exchange these coins. So is it kind of like collecting coins can also almost like coin collectors of physical coins. You've got like swap meets happening in the digital space where you can exchange your coins and
A
there's
digital
prices.
swap meet.
There's prices to it that are created by robots, essentially, automatic market makers, and all these little things are going on all the time to create value for these coins. There's got it, and so I in doing so, where I learned about most of the coins was on the Binance Smart Chain, because
interesting.
it was really inexpensive. So Uniswap is Ethereum kind of based, I think.
Yeah, first
And
on Ethereum, but now
First,
it's
now it's everything. So it was
yeah.
the gas fees were kind of expensive at first.
Got brutal.
And so when DeFi kind of comes out, people are starting to get all these new coins and stake them and swap them. Binance was really inexpensive. It was
Yeah.
fractions of pennies at the time. So I
Yeah.
started buying all sorts of weird stuff. And I was paying Derek in all these weird things. And that's why he's now doing this tax company, because he got paid at least in 28 different coins.
Oh, what a nightmare.
And he had to always figure out how to get it back into real money so he could pay
How to,
rent.
like convert it all.
Yeah, I remember one day he was so mad. He's like, "Why did you pay me in Honey Bear?" Because Honey Bear's just lost. I lost $200 like in the seconds because of like when I got paid and when he tried
You
to
were
swap
like
it
the
out.
full volume of
Yeah.
Honey Bear was
Yeah,
just you.
I was.
So you
Panther
killed the
and
price.
Cougar, and I was always in these weird
Oh my
ones.
God.
But he could figure it out. He did figure it out because he needed money to feed his kid.
Yeah, so you have to.
And so literally learned how to like get crypto into the real world again, and then not to pay a lot of taxes. That's why he's created that new company.
That's
So
hilarious.
so there's a lot of them, like 10,000. I think there's up to 30,000, but let's say there's 10,000 with any volume out there.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Like, there's not that many currencies in the real world. We probably are sitting at like 100 that even matter at all.
That's a really
if
good
that.
point. I mean, yeah, I think in the
like-
long term, most of them probably go away.
Yeah.
Some will get have a niche market
Yeah.
that they're useful on, and some will be more like overarching, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, like aren't going anywhere. Those will be used for transferring wealth, and
Yep.
there may be little ones for more like quick payments. Like they'll get their niche markets, but
Yeah.
honestly, I see most of them kind of disappearing.
Just kind of fading.
So we've been throwing around these terms like
Yeah.
coins, tokens, and often people use them kind of interchangeably.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like the differences between them?
Tell me, actually. Your answer would be
Yeah.
better than mine.
Well, the way I look at it and like the kind of on the technical side, for me, coins usually more refers to like the native currency, cryptocurrency on a network. So
Mm,
Ether on Ethereum,
yeah.
Matic for Polygon, Bitcoin for Bitcoin. And then tokens tends to refer more to like digital assets built on top of
Those chains.
those chains. So
Okay.
like Uni token on Ethereum,
Mm-hmm.
the BNB, I think that might be the native one actually.
Yeah.
But or Honey Bear on
Yeah.
Binance
Yeah. On
Smart
Binance.
Chain.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where
It's probably a good way to look at. That's probably a safe way if you have to define it. Tokens
Yeah.
are all the little money on top of the chain, all the extra little currents, like, and the currencies. I mean, they act as like these tokens can be. They look and do similar things as coins. They're not going to
Yeah.
you swap them around, but they're not the native currency. It's like if you want to call the U.S. dollar a coin, that's probably the right way to do it. And a token would be like the Chuck E. Cheese token that you
Exactly.
buy with U.S. dollars
with
to
US
go
dollars.
play here at.
And yeah, and then when you're playing on Uniswap or on DeFi and swapping digital assets, Ether is like the coin you have to have
Yeah.
in your wallet to pay the
Gas fees,
transaction
yeah.
or gas
Yeah.
fees. That's because it's the native crypto for that chain, and that's the coin.
If you make when you make Nicki token,
Mm-hmm.
what are
What
you
does
going to
that
put it
mean?
on? Are you going to put it on Ethereum? Are you going to make your own chain, Nicki chain?
No, absolutely
so
not.
you'll put
that
it
sounds
on
like way too much work.
Ethereum
Probably,
or Polygon?
probably both Ethereum and Polygon,
Okay.
and then you can bridge,
You can bridge 'em.
between the two. So that means like bridging would
So
mean be able to transfer.
so tell me about your
between two.
tokenomics of Nicki.
I'm not a big, tokenomics aficionado.
Yeah.
I would definitely use. Okay, so first of all, if I was going to create a token, they call it minting.
Yep.
It's like that's what the process
Yep.
is, creating a new
Yeah,
token.
you're gonna
That's all.
just
it
like
is.
we're gonna mint a new
Minting,
coin. If I got to make
like
some coin, I
stamping.
got to go make the coins. If I'm making Scotty coin, I got to go mint them.
And like the most common on like Ethereum based platforms, like chains, you use this thing called an ERC20 standard. So
Yeah.
they're often called ERC20 tokens. And all
Yep.
that is ERC20 is just like the name of like if you're a developer, like an interface that
Yeah.
you follow to create
Okay.
this token. So it's
Okay.
just like a guarantee that the code, because you're using like a smart contract to create this token.
Is it
And-
kind of like you're building on iOS or you're building it on like an Android? Is it like a language even like a Java or like I don't even.
Well, like the
a script
language
or
would-
something?
It's more like the platform you're deploying it to.
Okay.
Would be like the chain. And then there's a few different languages you can use and it compiles down.
Okay.
Um,
And everyone should be doing it. It's like is it almost standardized that it's like let's be Bluetooth or let's do your ERC20. I feel like
so
everything
it's like
is
the standard.
ERC20 compatible.
And they
at this
do it
point.
because like if someone creates a wallet,
Yeah.
like you can have that token like in your wallet
In the wallet.
because you know what functions exist. Like on the technical like programming level, it has a transfer function. You know that you can check the balance.
Okay.
So it's just you just know it has these certain functions, these certain capabilities.
So this is important next though. You keep saying wallets. And I know you're not talking about Thread Wallet, and I know it's not the wallet. It's like, okay, I got the wallet right here on the back of my phone. That's my new wallet.
Oh.
Put the cards in there.
That's awesome.
But tell me about how I store this stupid digital currency.
Yeah.
There's more than one way, right? And
Yeah,
we know that some ways are there's trade-offs.
Yeah, absolutely. So wallets, usually it refers to either like an app or like hardware device that is going to hold your private key for you.
Yeah.
So in a blockchain-based system, if to be like a participant in the system, you have to have like an account, which is pretty much a public key and private key pair.
Okay.
So the way this is done is with cryptography, where you generate the private key, which is like I think it's a 256-bit long
Just
number.
massive.
So really long number, anywhere from like 0 to huge.
Yeah.
So there's just like a huge range of numbers. And you get a private key. You generate one on the fly when you're like, okay, I need my own private key. And from the private key, you can decipher like your public key. But the way the cryptography works is you can't go the other way. So with the public key, I can show that to you and be like, here, like,
Is that my address?
pay me. That's your address.
Yeah.
You can pay me through that.
See everything I've done historically.
Yeah, people can walk through all of your historical transactions if I give that to someone, but you can't spend the crypto that
No,
exists on it. Only
no.
I can.
Yeah, it's a read only.
It's read only. So then there's kind of two versions of these wallets as well, either like non-custodial or
Hmm.
custodial, which
Okay.
I think I also hear the terms these days thrown around as non-hosted and hosted, but they're the
Mm.
same thing. So non-custodial means like it's on like that private key is in the app on my phone
Hmm.
and I'm in charge of keeping it safe. And
Hmm.
if my phone gets stolen or wiped, that private key is gone unless I like backed it up somewhere.
And that probably can happen.
And I've turned into like a weird pirate where I'm like writing down
Yeah.
my 12 words and I'm storing them in like a fireproof safe, like one copy in my house,
That's
one
what the
in
Winklevi did.
a safety
They spread
deposit
all
box.
across the U.S. and banks
Yeah.
their private keys for their first big chunk of
So
Bitcoin.
it's a really weird.
I just don't
Rabbit
that
hole.
gives me too much anxiety thinking about that, and I'm like, there's nothing really worth me thinking that hard about things and trying to store my loot.
It's
So I went to
scary.
custodial stuff.
So yeah, so custodial would be like
Just like I trust you,
Coinbase.
Coinbase. Username,
Is,
password.
Yeah, you
Face
log
ID,
in, username,
2 off.
password. You can recover if you
Yeah.
like forget your password. They're gonna hold that crypto for you. They're gonna handle things. We
I should-
trust them, but there's been a lot of failures
There's
in
been
that
a lot of failures.
in that trusted
There has
system.
been lots lately.
Like,
Do you know the local Giddy people? What do you think of their premise of doing the non-custodial but user-friendly
yeah, I think
by
that's
sharding the key? Whatever they
Yeah.
do, they break the key up like Horcruxes and stuff.
it's a Horcrux. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that idea.
Okay.
I feel like that's the only way forward for DeFi.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's scalable for average people to be in charge of their own private keys and keep them safe and not lose them.
I
Like,
don't think so.
even I'm bad at it, and
Yeah.
and I've been in this space for a minute. I think so. What Giddy does is you hold your private key in your app, but it's recoverable because they use this kind of cool like
The
algorithm thing. It's
Smear
called
secret sharing. Yeah.
Shamir secret
Yeah.
sharing, and you can break up like your private key into shares
Yeah.
and like put them in different places. I
So
think
kind of what you're doing physically
yeah,
in different banks.
but they can do it with an
They
algorithm.
can do it with an algorithm.
And then you need like X of Y
Yeah.
shares to recover. So
reconstruct
you
it.
don't need all of them.
Yeah.
You need like 4 of the 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is so cool. So not one share can generate the full private key.
Yeah.
But you don't also, if you lose one, you don't need all of them to recover the private
That's
key.
so this is interesting. I probably pay someone all the time. Like every week I'm paying someone in Giddy,
Mhm.
Bitcoin, USDC, and Venmo, and like
I love the
PayPal.
Venmo. Yeah.
So where do you think, why is Venmo like not working? Why would someone that's doing a lot of Venmo transactions, say if they're tattoo parlor, they like to do cash, they're using Venmo. Where would Venmo break down, and where would Giddy or USDC or another thing be good for those vendors or something?
Yeah.
Is there something? Is it speed? Is it safety? Is it taxes? Like what is like maybe
That's a
talk about the
question.
difference of Venmo versus a crypto Venmo.
Sure. So, I mean, Venmo's awesome.
It
So
is.
convenient.
Everyone
Love that
uses it.
invention.
If you don't use it, you're probably not watching this
Yeah.
because you're a Luddite.
I don't
So,
I don't
yeah.
think I could live without it.
No.
It's fast, it's free. It works great.
Yeah.
And it can be so fast. Like traditional finance, like transferring money is not fast. Like it's
No.
crazy.
No,
But
my mom was
Venmo-
making me checks before Venmo. She was
Yeah.
like, "Pay me back with a check," or I'd pay her back a check, and that was the worst
It's
process ever.
awful.
So I paid my cousin, or my brother-in-law. I paid him to get my mom on Venmo, so we would be done with all the stupid
Like I'm
checks.
done.
Yeah,
And even like trying to do like an ACH, like
Yeah.
it takes like 3 days.
Oh my
and
gosh.
It's just awful.
Yep.
And Venmo, it's like a closed system.
Yep.
So when you're trading like the money, like it stays in the closed Venmo
Yeah.
system, but then you can withdraw out,
Yeah.
and that can take like
it can take up
time.
to 3 to 5 days.
Yeah, so-
but I find myself never really withdrawing because I'm always
I just
giving
use
and
it.
taking. It's like this pool of money
Yeah.
that just kind of goes back and forth.
Same. But
Um,
what happens, Scott? So like you have this business, you're a tattoo artist, and you
Yeah.
take all your payments in Venmo.
Yeah.
And you know this from LinkedIn, and you got locked out.
Yeah.
What happens when Venmo decides to turn off your account
because you did something against their terms of service, or they just don't
or
like how much.
perceived terms of
Someone
service?
complained. Someone's
Yeah.
like didn't like their tattoo. They complained.
Yeah.
Lock up.
Like a fake, yeah.
Yeah, your
like any
money. Your money's locked up.
Yeah.
You don't own that money.
No.
It's
What-
custodianed.
Yep,
Right?
exactly. that's where like a crypto app with a
Mhm.
Venmo situation like would be awesome because you could actually hold those funds yourself.
This is kind of the whole thing is we're imagining this metaverse, and I just don't see the future. Uh, if the metaverse is going to kind of become useful for all Asian groups and globally, it just it'll be very intertwined with all
Mhm.
this the crypto and what we're talking about here. And I just think there's going to be marketplaces created, things that we haven't even seen yet, that will require digital currencies to be exchanged and used really quickly,
Mhm.
friction. Like we're
Frictionless.
not going to be doing stairs in the metaverse, and we're not going to be going
Yep,
to
we don't like
banks.
stairs.
We're not going to go to ATMs in the metaverse waiting for things to come out and then like be worried about the briefcase while I'm walking around that has the cash in it, or did I lose my keys and my wallet in the metaverse? I'm hoping
Mhm.
that we just kind of like have it much less friction, not worrying about where all the wallets are, in the
Yeah.
treasure map. I think in the metaverse the friction is gonna be zero for how we use currency and how we buy digital goods and
Mhm.
and access experiences. Uh, it's just gonna be like, I want that, and your little credits just go down a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you sure you want that, Scott? I am sure I want to open that door. Okay. And it gets
Like
they
double check.
yeah, yeah, and that's it. That's the only friction is like, are you sure you want to go through that door? Yes, open it for $4,000,
Yeah.
please.
And then and it signs the transaction, it guarantees that it's you, and it's
Yes,
done
done. And
immediately.
then it's like, whatever's behind that door, I just bought it, and there's no take backsies.
Oh my god.
Oh, 1 million Nicki coin.
Yay! And then you're
I found the
rich.
loot. Yes.
And it's an immutable transaction. All right, Scott, this was awesome. Big thanks to Silicon Slopes
Yeah,
TV
that was
for
awesome.
producing this. I yeah, feel free to reach out to us if you guys like what we talk about on this thing. We're gonna finish up this season, start a second season. We're looking for sponsorship opportunities. You could email us at itm@siliconslopes.com.
Why don't we just crowdfund it with some Nicki coin?
Maybe
We
we
launch
just
the
go full
coin.
Nikki
Yeah,
Nikki
that's it.
coin.
I think after this episode, they're gonna buy.
All right, we'll have to create
All
it.
right.
All right,
Thanks, Nikki.
bye.